Afternoon, wonderful people. How are we all doing? Excuse the smoke, I've got a bit of a fire going on next to me. Welcome back to Hand in Hand Together. Thank you for keep supporting us, it means a lot. Today I want to talk about a difficult topic. Difficult topic for men to kind of talk about, I found. It's about self-care. Self-care for us and what it means and the impact of it. I've been running a men's fireside group for about 9 months now. One of the topics that is repeating itself is self-care, and how men are quite uncomfortable with the idea and the words of giving themselves self-care. It's uncomfortable for fellas to talk about their mental health. You know, I've had comments on Facebook and stuff, and I've put out previous videos of fellas saying, it's great what you're doing. Sorry, it's great what you're doing, Mark, but it's really difficult for fellas to get outside of that impression of what it means to be a man. Within the support groups that I've been running around the fire, the awakening that people have had of, they're just not putting anything in self-care. They're okay and they're comfortable with telling their other halves and their families to make sure they do stuff to look after themselves, but they won't give themselves the same advice or the same permission. I think sometimes it comes down to giving yourself permission to go and do something. So I have had a bit of a up and down last 6 months because I stopped putting in self-care regularly, and it has an impact. So I know from first hand the impact of not looking after yourself. Guys have an impression, or lots of fellas have an impression, this isn't, I'm not tarnishing every bloke with the same brush here, but they work hard, most of them, and feel there isn't time necessarily to put in their own level of self-care. So some of the lads on the groups that I've been running, self-care can be, going to get a haircut and a beard trim, which I could probably do with, to be fair. Getting creative again, going back to old hobbies that they used to like, having mates round in the back of your garden just for a chat and a couple of beers around a fire. Obviously, COVID and all that COVID shit has put a bit of a stop to that, but hopefully we're coming out of that. Going for a walk on your own. Personally, I like to walk, I like to read, I like to write, meditate. I know 15 years ago, if you told me that meditation would be a huge part of my life, I'd have laughed at you and probably taken the piss completely. But it is, it's a huge part of my life now, and it's a huge part of keeping my mental well-being physically and mentally in a good place. I walk, I love walking. I think there's something quite powerful about just walking and just concentrating on that one foot in front of the other. Before COVID and all this stuff, I would take myself away for a weekend once a year, just me, and just have some headspace and go for a walk and have a look around somewhere different. So we need to help each other, guys, really. We need to, it's like we need to give each other permission to not always look like, tough macho cavemen and all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's like I've said in previous videos, it's a bit outdated. So guys, if you feel like you're struggling, if you feel like, stress is getting on top of you, the hours you work in are getting on top of you, it's impacting your diet and your sleep, and you're drinking lots to make yourself sleep, all that kind of stuff, all the stuff that kind of the signs that you're not looking after yourself, just have a stop, because it's not sustainable. You know what I mean? This stuff always catches up. I went a while where I didn't put things in place and it caught up. It always will. So you might think that you're invincible. I know I used to when I was younger. I certainly don't now, but we're not. and self-care goes a long way. And self-care can be talking to a mate, talking to a missus, or a colleague, just a 5-minute chat of the stress is doing me head in, it's getting on top. It can be anything, guys. Do you know what I mean? Take up an old hobby, go and see your mates, go and have a game of golf. Do you know what I mean? And the people around these fellas that are carrying this stress and tension every day, support them. Everybody, and it goes the other way as well. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that women don't need to self-care, but this video is about the barriers that men put up to giving themselves time. Yeah, the lives are dictated by time. I've got to do this, I've got to go to work, I've got to get home, I've got to do it. Do you know what I mean? But you'll talk yourself out of, but it's okay to give me an hour to just go for a walk and chill out on my own. Don't mean you talk yourself out of that because you've got to do this or you've got to do that, But it is paramount, absolute paramount, that if you want to live a healthy, long life, you need to manage your well-being. You need to manage the stress. Now, we're not trying to get rid of stress in anybody's life, because you need a level of stress to motivate and to get you going. But if stress is sitting on your shoulders like an iron rock, if they exist, you need to help, you need to take time out, and that can be anything. Yeah, but it's about you going, right, I'm just going to step away from here and I'm going to do this just for me. And it's not selfish, do you know what I mean? And the world won't fall apart. That's what always stopped me, is how can I look after all these people and make sure all their lives are okay if I take some time out to look after myself, if I process my thoughts and what I'm doing. What's everyone else going to do? Well, it's everybody else isn't your responsibility. We care and we love for people the same as the other people do, but you have to show yourself the same attention that you show everybody else, because then you can give them the time and the care and the support that everybody wants. Yeah, but if you're just giving outwardly and not taking anything in for yourself, it catches up. Yeah, physically and mentally it will catch up. And I know for me, I'm 48 in a few weeks. I know one of the first things that goes for me is I stop concentrating on my health. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not 20 years old anymore. Do you know what I mean? So I can't get away with it. I can't get away with drinking 6 days in a row and working and all that sort of stuff and not paying any attention to myself, because I'm nearly 48. So things change. Even if your head thinks you're still 20, which mine does most of the time, your body ain't. So when I stop and I start criticising, my health is the first thing that goes. But as soon as I get it back on track, which is self-care, don't get me wrong, I know it's self-care, even if it feels like a pain in the arse to go out for that walk or for that jog or to go training or whatever, or to turn down the burgers that you really want to eat. That's self-care. That gives you more time on this amazing planet that we're living on. So yeah, lads, it's not unmanly, it's not unmacho to allow yourself to be vulnerable and go, actually, I could really just do with some time for me, really. Need to figure some stuff out. Do it. It's really, really important. I'm really interested to know what barriers are for people. What stops you from taking that time? What holds you back? And this is for the people around you as well. This isn't just for the fellas. So, people, what do you think stops men from putting their hands up and saying, I could do with some time? I really want to make some valuable self-care time for me, whether that's I'm going to have a massage once a month, do you know what I mean? Just an hour of nothing, just for you, or I'm going to go for a walk, or I'm going to go for a game of golf with the lads. Anything. I'm going to take an old hobby up that I used to really, really enjoy, but life got in the way, so I stopped doing it. Alright, so let's support each other. Let's make the people around us aware that maybe we're not always tip-top. Yeah, it's okay. Alright, anyone who knows me knows where I come from. right, and knows the kind of fella I am, and for me to be making these videos telling men to talk up and stand up will know that how much of a journey that's been for me to get to being comfortable with saying that. All right, so it's not easy, but the more you do it, the more you show yourself self-care, the better you'll be feeling. All right, trust me. So get out there, lads, have a little look, see what you can change, see what you can add to your lives, that's just for you. All right, take care, speak soon, bye. Hi guys, it's me again. I know I said at the end of that last little bit that it was the end of the video, but I just wanted to add something. As I've hinted at in the last couple of videos, the last 6 months been a little bit up and down for me. I've allowed critical voicing, which has then impacted my ability to keep my self-care in place. But one of the things I started to do when I went travelling was write. Funny enough, never really written in my life before, and part of that writing was I'd write little poems. That's in the widest context of the meaning poems, by the way, but I found them really powerful ways of getting overwhelming, difficult thoughts onto a bit of paper. So what I wanted to do today, because I'm doing all these videos asking men to open themselves up and be comfortable with being vulnerable, I'm going to give it all to you. So I'm going to write something. Oh, I'm not going to write. I'm going to read something that I've written over the last couple of months. It's really helped get me back on track. Yeah, tickety-boo, like I am now. See what I mean? Everything's back in place. So bear with me. There's a war going on in my mind. Anger and guilt clench their fists around my thoughts. Sometimes I feel like I can fight with all I've got. Other times I want to shrivel up and hide. What happens when the warrior in you tires? When the need to protect weakens your soul? When you feel you are hurting the ones you love the most? How do you endure anger and guilt flowing through your veins? I want to let my inner hero free. I know he is eager to stay in the fight. My inner warrior is stronger than the anger and guilt, but he is screaming out for some kindness. I see a light at the end of the tunnel. I have fought hard to create a way out of the darkness. It is time to stay resolute and focused on the goal. I believe I will be stronger after the battle. What has changed? I hear the voices ask. I reply, you tried to create a storm in my mind, and I got drawn into the tempest that grasped my soul. But then I remembered, I am the fucking storm. So that really helped me get like an overwhelming process of thoughts sorted and out on the paper, and it's really helped push me forward and reminded me that everything I need, all the power, all the confidence and knowledge I already have inside me, and that's really let me take the next step. So lads, okay, all right, so I just wanted to add that just to show that even a fella like me can write poems and can be vulnerable and can show the world, and it's okay. Yeah, I found that really powerful, and I hope you guys did too. Okay, take care of yourselves, and we'll carry on speaking. All right, see you soon.